Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back again for some Loud Thumbs news with Nick, and I am Nick. And we're going to talk about some stuff today. It's not going to be as big of a happy sort of news today, unfortunately. We have some big layoffs to talk about. We're going to talk about those here today. Zelda could be coming to Universal. We're going to talk about that as well. And Pal World, everybody's been talking about it, but Nintendo has caught wind. What are they planning? Who knows? They might be striking down something. We'll find out. And Apple is opening up some streaming again. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little bit too here. But before we get into that, one little small note that literally just broke not too long ago here. But Epic says that Fortnite will be returning to iOS in the EU this year via a new Epic Games Store app. So watch out for that. And that could be related to one of our other stories here that Apple is now allowing streaming apps to come back. So you know what? Let's just start with that one. I'll throw a little bit of an audible. Don't want to start out too Debbie Downer right away. But Apple is now going to allow the makers, let's just read it all together here. Apple now allows game streaming apps, making Xbox Game Pass possible. They have changed its stance on the game streaming apps, potentially opening the door for an Xbox Game Pass app on the iOS App Store. Microsoft launched its cloud service back in 2020. We all know it's been highly successful. It's a huge, huge thing. But, Apple blocked it back then because it was against some laws that they were claiming and that they had kind of made up. They were their own made up rules, basically. And that really upset quite a few. There was a big, whole Applegate, whatever you want to call it. There was a big hubbub about that between Epic and Apple, and a lot of things got put out in court. A lot of us got to read and see all of it. But Apple did claim at the time, Apple's claim at the time was because Microsoft wasn't submitting to each individual game to its review process. The app that enables access to those games was being blocked from publishing. However, the situation has now changed, according to the statement on Apple's developer website, which says it's now introducing new options for how apps globally can be delivered in-app experiences to users, including streaming games and mini programs. Developers can now submit a single app with the capability to stream all of the games offered in their catalog, the statement says. So that's big news. I think it's getting overshadowed by the, you might as well say bigger, more sad news, but it's still cool. What do you guys think about that coming back? I think it's pretty cool. I hope it increases our, what do I want to say? It just makes for a better experience, right? Increases our experience. We'll find out. Right now it's a little bit cumbersome, but it's not too bad. Now, let's get the bad stuff out of the way, right? Let's just go. Let's pull the Band-Aid. So the big one today, Microsoft lays off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees. This is coming from TheVerge.com. Microsoft laying off 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard and Xbox this week, while Microsoft's primarily laying off roles at Activision and Blizzard. Some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will be impacted by the cuts. The cuts work out to roughly 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division and stands at around 22,000 employees in total. 8%'s a lot. That's a lot. It doesn't sound like it sometimes, but that's quite a bit. Think about if your boss came up and said, "Hey, I'll give you an 8% bonus every paycheck." You're not going to complain. That's going to be a decent amount of money, right? That's a decent amount of people losing their job. That's too many people losing their job. And it's ridiculous to me. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't. Maybe call me naive, call me too optimistic, call me whatever. But I thought, hey, we're going to get all of these companies that have been, kind of downtrodden, Bobby Kotick and his nastiness and all this stuff happening. We're going to get all of them out of that. We're going to bring them all into this nice new, bubble of, productivity and call it happiness, call it, just relief, whatever you'd like to call it. But call it positive is where my brain was at. And they'll be able to just flourish now. They'll be able to just do the ideas they want, continue their jobs and, the best experiences and the best, surroundings, environment possible, right? unfortunately, no. That a lot of people have lost their jobs today. Some of them are still just kind of waiting and wondering because they have not announced each individual person. They've just kind of announced a number. So that's not a cool way of doing it. I'm not a big fan of that. Phil Spencer is he's righting the ship. He's trying to do what he can, but it's happening all too fast. To me, it feels like they didn't give the merger a chance. Like it just happened. Like it's just finished. This is the first, call it year, right? 2024, the first year we're going to kick this in. And now we've just decided to lay off 8% of our employees across all of them. And clearly a majority of them being in the two newest companies to be, acquired. And I'm sure it's not an easy decision. I understand all that, but it's just, it happened too quickly. And I don't know. It's so much happening there that for me, it feels like a loss of momentum. Like you're losing people. You're not going to be able to make as much progress on everything you're doing when you're getting rid of people. So where's the benefit? Like just in the almighty dollar? Well, I think you have 70 billion of them to drop around here and there. So why not leave some and gamble a little bit more for another year and just watch, what these games that they can put out can do. So again, call me optimistic and call me naive, but I would have done something like that. And I feel like that's another thing that is lost, is like the leaders of these companies, they're all capitalist, but what I'm hoping for is in 10 years, maybe less, some of these people who, were laid off during these situations are now running their own companies and they know better. Like they're not going to do that because they've had it done to them. And that will then breed a better, corporate, I don't want to call it a regime, but, outlook, right? Call it a better corporate outlook of all people in corporations that are at the higher ups that are making these tens and millions of dollars a year that really probably shouldn't be. Let's be honest. Like who needs to make that kind of money? And nobody does. I'm sorry. I fully agree with that. There's enough where you can survive and there's enough where you can be having a good time. Anything after that, like it's just, what do you need that for? So hopefully there's some positive to come from this. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But we'll save that for another day. I'm not going to worry about talking about that right now, but it is a huge bummer. I absolutely have empathy for everybody out there that's lost their jobs and, now have to struggle to find something new and continue to keep the passion that is inside. Because I guarantee that when this kind of stuff happens, it just starts to snuff the flame and you got to keep the flame going. Okay. It's easier to, maintain a flame than it is to make one, right? So hopefully this has not completely snuffed the flames of a lot of the employees, and there's still hope at the end of the tunnel, and they'll be able to move forward, continuing on. But let's move on here. We're going to talk. Let's talk about some Zelda, and let's see where this might lead us. What rabbit hole we're going to go down here. I'm going to call this, I'm going to start calling it the rumor runway. Okay, I got to come up with something for this, but this is the rumor runway, we're going to call it, right? Because rumors fly around all over the place, right? So why not? We have Universal, they pulled a video of the Zelda producer at the construction site. So there was a video of the Zelda producer, and I believe it's this gentleman right here, sort of left of the screen, and accusations are that we might be getting something in the Universal theme parks that is Zelda related. Now we're getting a Zelda movie and, plenty of games, and we love Zelda on the channel here at Loud Thumbs. So bring it, give it, I'm good with it, let's go. But it says a video which reportedly showed Legend of Zelda series producer Ihei Anuma. Sorry, I'm going to butcher names here. But he was at Universal Studios theme park construction site. They had taken it offline, originally spotted by some users here. The Instagram video was reportedly about the construction of the upcoming Epic Universe theme park in Orlando, Florida. So hit the rumor runway, and let me know. What do you think? What are we getting? I'm excited because I love Zelda, love Mario, love Nintendo. It's all good. Again, it's all back here, right on screen, so you guys know I love it. But what are we gonna get from this? What kind of Zelda ride? What kind of Zelda attraction are we gonna get? Is it gonna happen? Is he just there because Miyamoto was like, hey, I need you to go over there and check on stuff? Who knows? But I love the rumor runway. Every once in a while, we're gonna chime in and see what's happening there every once in a while. And these kinds of things are always fun to speculate and see where they lead. Who knows? They may lead nowhere. Never really know. But it's always fun to talk about them anyway. Gonna wrap up a little bit here, getting toward the end. The last bit, we're gonna talk about Pokemon and Nintendo and Pal World. Okay. So the Pokemon Company makes an official statement on Pal World. We intend to investigate, in quotations. Despite not mentioning Pal World by name, the message is clear. The Pokemon Company has finally made an official statement regarding Pal World, saying we intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to the Pokemon. And it says, while the company doesn't specifically mention Pal World by name, it is very clear the statement is in response to the incredibly successful survival game is experiencing, and claims that many of Pal World's pals are way too close to the existing Pokemon. I've already reported on this, talked about it a little bit here on the news, and they have very similar characteristics. How far that can go is beyond me. I don't know. I don't know how far you can take an intellectual property and just say, hey, I need the nose. I'm going to put the nose on my character. Or I need an eyeball. I'm going to take one of the two and put it on a character. I don't know how that works, right? So if you guys know, let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of curious if they have very many legs to stand on. Are these, Nintendo's just kind of saying this to kind of give warning to like, hey, don't maybe do any more. We are investigating you. If we find out more, then, there's going to be a problem. But if you look at a picture and you draw a picture and you go make money off of it and that picture was drawn by somebody else, yeah, can't do that. I know that. But if you take an ear or you take a tooth, who knows, then I don't understand. I'm just curious on how that's going to work, because Nintendo's got lawyers out the yin-yang, and they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do on this kind of stuff. However, are they really going to be able to come up with something to hold against them? I have no idea. So let me know in the comments below. I'm super curious on that. If you're a lawyer, if you know legal things, if you've seen this in the past, and maybe I'm just not familiar with it. It's hard to say, but yeah. I mean, obviously Nintendo in this whole article is talking about taking things very seriously, and Pal World is, this huge thing now. So could they have slid by if they hadn't gotten much attention? It's just so hard to say. But I'm super curious, and I'm going to follow this. I'm sure there'll be more from it here not too far along. I'd imagine this is going to move quickly, and they'll either settle it or there'll be nothing to be found, and they'll be like, okay, hey. But I get it. I've heard the arguments. I understand that, yes, these look very close to Pokemon. I'm not a huge Pokemon guy. You won't see any of them back here in my background, but they are huge, very popular, and why you would even attempt to take anything from them and use it for your, financial gain or in your project, doesn't make any sense. But if you took an eyeball, I don't know. For me, sometimes I think that's not a big deal, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is a big deal. But I have no idea, again. So I've already reported on it. I looked at them. Yes, there are similarities, but they're not one-to-one. So maybe there's something, maybe there isn't. But I'm curious to know what all you guys think, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to chat, I'm here to talk news, talk video games. What's going on? Let us know. Let me follow me in all the comments down below as well. Hit the thumbs up if you liked the video, down if you did not like the video. Like and subscribe. Make sure you click the bell so you get these notifications when I do these every day. And you can get in the chat with us, get in the comments. I'm always down there in the comments, nibbing in there, trying to get the conversation going. So make sure you guys check in down there and do that for us. I really appreciate everybody who's tuning in and all the new subscribers. Enjoy the content. I'm going to continue doing it. I'm having a fun time with it. And I think that's it for the news today. I think we're done. Okay. We had some ups, we had some downs. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. But remember, until next time, controllers need exercise too. So keep those thumbs loud.